Hey guys, we're back. I'm Megan Musicades.
And I am Jenna Riley, and we're going to talk about episode 3, Daily Life.
And the first character that we interview is Katia Flores, and she's a recorder, one of the recorders on the dig. She's super pumped about archaeology.
And she talks about the mysterious rock formation, which was actually a huge part of helping us develop our story for this whole podcast. We wanted to find a reason to justify within our fictional world why people would fund this huge mission to Mars to build a colony. So we figured if we had something there that had been discovered by a previous much smaller manned mission to Mars, something that seemed possibly to suggest evidence of prior intelligent life on Mars, that might do it. And then now we're building a colony, and it was really all about this rock formation.
In part of our research, we were just kind of like trying to get ideas of, rock formations on Earth that have perplexed people. And one of the examples, which I'll show you, was in Peru. And dang, where did it go? Here it is. I don't remember how old these walls are, but it's amazing like how they fit together so perfectly when we knew that when this wall was created, they didn't have, the high-tech machines that we have now, and how they're
Right.
cut at like funky angles and fit in so perfectly that you can't even slip a piece of paper in between them. That they, like Jenna and I were talking earlier, that they almost look like they could have been like laser cut to fit in so well.
Right.
Here's another quick example.
They're so old, it's not possible that that's how that was done. So it's just baffling how these walls were created. And also some of the rocks that are used are massive. I mean, you would have had to have technology to move something so heavy, but they did not.
So those were some of we just did a lot of research with that for, kind of how we picture maybe what this rock wall, this rock formation looked like, what they initially found when they first arrived on
Mars. So the second interview is Farmer Bill, and we really loved his nickname and liked developing his character because we felt like it was important to have not just all the people be on board that there's aliens, but that there are people, as there would be in real world, with the completely opposite opinion. There would be people with the opposite opinion who would be there looking for evidence to support that it was not alien made, because you can't have people looking for a certain type of evidence, then some evidence may be missed or misinterpreted, misunderstood. You need different eyes, different ideas, taking in all this information.
One of his examples that he gave was the Giant's Causeway in Ireland, which are these like rock formations made out of basalt, which is what Mars is has a lot of, and how intricately those fit together. Pretty freaking cool. Jenna and I can't wait to be able to go there.
Yes. But we believe that these were actually formed by volcanic activity. They were not formed by an ancient civilization or aliens. I mean, who knows? But we believe that they were formed naturally. So that's, one of his ideas about how he could sort of defend his opinion that it's very possible this rock formation is naturally formed.
Who's our next guy? Oh, Doug Freeman.
Doug.
What was his role? I can't remember.
He is a waste management specialist.
That's right.
Yes, one of our essential workers.
Yes, very essential.
He has such a beautiful story about how he had a little bit of a breakdown when he was on Mars and he couldn't eat and he really lost himself, put himself and others in danger without realizing it. And how he came to realize he just wasn't built for that life. He couldn't live on Mars. And he shares this wonderful memory he has of being on his boat on the river and being around trees and nature, and that he doesn't want to step outside in a suit. He wants to be able to go outside and breathe fresh air. Which I thought was really, it's an interesting perspective because it sounds like anyone would be lucky to go do this insane mission and live on Mars and be an astronaut, but it's a very specific kind of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also think, because when I listened to it again today, I was thinking menu fatigue, like that sounds kind of silly. You know, like, yeah, you get sick of your food, but like it's kind of shows you that like something that seems small, I mean, because we did the research on this, it's actually a serious thing, you know, and like anything in life, if something is so small, if you don't address it, it can get so out of control, and how important it is to like really listen to yourself or like, or your friends. If your friends are in some kind of, you know, they've been acting differently lately, like it's good to kind of get them to talk, because you know, one little thing can just blow up if you're not able to deal with it. The next character is Diane Jorgensen, and she is a chemist.
We were trying to figure out how to have relatable problems in this, within this sci-fi world. They're living in a habitat on Mars, but they experience a fire, which is something unfortunately we have here all the time. Wildfires, house fires, and it's usually pretty terrible. So we wanted to show that even though they're on Mars and they have all these additional extraordinary problems that we don't have, like needing to step outside in a helmet and bodysuit, they also have our kind of everyday problems like fires.
Mm-hmm.
But also that it's so much more extreme there because there's no backup for anything. They don't have, as Diane points out, there is no grocery store. So their fire happened in the kitchen and they lost all this food, and that they can't just go run out and get. It's just gone.
Right. There's no Instacart.
Right. Yes. Amazon does not travel there yet. Yeah, she talks about that problem and how upset she was that she felt like they dropped the ball. That the damage could have been much more controlled, managed, if they'd been on their guard. She felt like they got comfortable, let their guard down, and then this disaster happened that really changed things for them.
And I definitely think we can all relate to that experience where something you feel in your gut, you know, and then the thing that you were worried about happens and you start blaming yourself because you knew better, but you took the, you know, took the risk. And if you guys have any questions or comments that you would like us to answer or find some experts to answer, drop them in the comments and we will get answers for you. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye.